Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Vic and I'm a painter in Gloucestershire for my sins. So thanks for joining me today, and I'm going to be showing you today some little promo pack that I put together years ago, back in the kind of mid-90s. I used to send to galleries. So if you're a retired gallery owner and you receive one of these on a regular basis, I apologise for bombarding you, but that's how I used to go about things years ago. So we're talking kind of prior internet. First, I'd like to thank everybody for your lovely comments, which is absolutely super. Really nice to hear from everybody. And also, if you'd like to consider subscribing, if you've not already done so, please consider it. It doesn't cost anything, and it really does mean a lot to me and helps the channel grow. So on we go to the promo pack that I put together back in 1990, I say 1996, 97, something like that. So what I used to do is, I was a bit cheeky actually, because I used to work in an office and I can say this now, but I used to go a bit early to work and photocopy some of my artwork. So what I used to do is I used to shrink it down slightly, because I used to paint, well, sketches are quite large. I used to shrink them down on jolly old photocopy, or the Xerox, as you might say if you're in the States. And then I used to put together this little kind of promo pack. So I used to have my card on the front of it, contact details, and I'm just going to quickly run you through each of the pieces of artwork. Now, I will put stills up of the artwork as we go through, but I'll just show you on screen to start off with. So the first one is a tree. Now, the funny thing was, long ago, I used to go to Italy quite a lot, and I used to show my work to quite a well-known artist out there, and he always said to me, "Oh gosh, if you paint abstract, you're never ever going to paint anything else. That you're always going to be abstract. That's the way it goes. Kind of one thing or the other. You're kind of landscapey type person or abstract." And so that kind of got me kind of thinking. I thought, well, I don't know. I reckon I could do something if I had the right kind of thing. Anyway, I kind of come across this tree. This time I was living in Devon. Actually, the title of this is called Devon Tree. I actually lived in a little village called Ipplepen, which was not that far from Torquay down in Devon. I will probably put a still up of this and yak away over it. And I decided to take a picture of this tree, and I sat down one day and I drew it, and I was quite chuffed with it, really. So anyway, see what you think of that. At this point, I'm going to insert a still of this. So I'm just going to stop chatting for a second, and you have a look at this still and see what you reckon. So that was the Devon tree. The next one on the little promo pack used to do was a couple of images of Venice, or Italy rather. I used to go there quite regularly. This one is the Rialto Bridge in Venice. Now, there's something odd about this, which you'll probably spot straight away, but I didn't actually spot it until I had finished doing it. So that is a little sketch there. And then again in a sec, I'll put a still up of it. Obviously, as you'll see, it's longer on one side than the other. So it's not actually true to life, but it came out kind of okay. And I think it's a nice representation of a place that I'd been. It kind of captured a bit of the atmosphere. So Rialto Bridge, that's another one on my little promo pack. Again, still coming up in a sec. Have a look at that and let me know what you think. Next up on the promo pack is drawing number 3. Now this one is of city of Verona. So I think I actually sketched it in situ actually at the time. So I'm going to whack that up there. I can't actually remember what the name of the river is. Again, I'll put it still up in a sec. But when it was shrunk down on the old Xerox thing, it actually came out quite nice. So let me know what you think of that. Verona's a really, really nice city, actually. If you've never been there, it's probably one of the Italian cities. It isn't that well known compared to lots of the others. But if you're ever in the kind of Venice area, I'm going to say it's in the Veneto region, I'm thinking. Really lovely city to go to. Got a fabulous arena as well, which they still use sometimes for opera. So if you ever get the chance, go to Verona. But still a lot is coming up in a sec, and you can have a little look at that one as well and let me know what you reckon to that. Next one on the list is, I suppose it's a bit overkill really. I did go to Rome, only been to Rome once. God, it was perishing cold, and I went there, I had a stinking cold as well. Really didn't help. But I did this little drawing of St. Peter's Square. I wouldn't say it's particularly accurate, but it was one of my first sketches that I ever did, and kind of come out okay. So again, still coming up in a sec. Let me know what you think of that. It's not particularly fantastic, but I mean, it's one of my early ones, so you know, it's not going to be exactly a photo image, but I think it kind of come out okay, and hopefully it might have captured something of the atmosphere of the actual square itself. So next up in the promo pack, and this is the last of the kind of scenes, is one of San Gimignano, which is in Tuscany. So it's not very far from Siena, if you're familiar with that part of the world in Italy. Really, really lovely little kind of, I'd say village really. It's not very big. And it's kind of famous for these chimneys. I'm going to put us still up in a sec, but it's famous for these kind of chimneys. I'm thinking they were used for like ceramics, for firing ceramics. Might be totally wrong on that one, but I think there was something like about 40 of them in the village. Actually, there's loads and loads of them, and it's easily missed actually if you're actually driving along into on the road to Siena. You'll actually see signposted the little sign to San Gimignano. So if you're ever in that neck of the woods, go and have a look. It's absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous place. Also in that region, it's really well known for. I'm going to say alabaster. And there's a lot of alabaster, or there used to be back in the 90s, there's a lot of alabaster being sold as well. Really, really pretty. But anyway, still that coming up, and you can have a closer look and see for yourself. So after the scenes of Italy, I then went on something completely different in my little promo pack that I used to send off. And this is kind of a good example. It's a weird one actually. I don't know what you're going to make of it, but I quite liked it. And actually looking at it, you'll still see some familiar shapes at the end of these lines that I still use today. So, I mean, this is 97. So, yeah, 2024, still using some of these shapes in my work. It's kind of a very simplistic, almost a bit Dali-esque, I suppose you could say, in a way. It's kind of hanging in space there. I don't really know what the thinking of this was behind it, to be perfectly honest. I think I just wanted to explore the kind of differences, the feelings between the kind of free form circular shapes and then the rigid straight lines, I guess. Equals and opposites, I guess you could say, which is something quite sort of prominent in my work, really. Like to balance things up, basically. And that might be an early example of that. So, yeah, kind of interesting. And again, have a closer look and see what you reckon to that one. So this last one is something completely different, as they say. So this was a kind of freestyle abstract piece. Obviously, it's in a folder, so it's going to catch the light a bit. But again, I'll put a still up in a second. This was actually, I'm kind of surprised myself how quite complex this is actually. I quite like it. I don't know if I've even got the original anymore. I probably have somewhere stuck around upstairs. But so I just wanted to include this in the pack to show something kind of completely different, really. So you kind of got the three types of drawings that I used to do, or kind of creations that I used to do. So the sketches were kind of a thing on their own. Then I used to do the quite complex kind of drawings, and then this kind of more freestyle, not actually kind of joined up in any way, but kind of, I guess you could say Kandinsky-ish, if you're kind of familiar with him, that kind of thing. So that was how I used to kind of go about trying to promote myself back in the mid-90s. One of the other things I used to do was use these. Now, this is something that you might not have seen for a long, long time, depending on your age, whether you've ever seen them or not. So these were 35mm slides. So basically what I used to do was, back this pre-digital obviously, so I used to get myself a slide film basically, so it used to be a 35mm slide film, and then take pictures. So I think I used to get 36 on a roll, something like that. So if you're not familiar with slides, I mean, what they are is, it's like a celluloid of a photo, but I suppose you could say it's almost like a negative, but it's not really like a negative because it's actually in colour. I don't know how I'm going to show you this. I haven't got a slide projector, and I haven't got a slide viewer either anymore. I wish I did. Perhaps I should try and get one. I'm going to hold that up somewhere and see if you can see the camera. That is another painting. Does that make any sense at all? If I can find a clear bit of something behind me. So as you can see, that is a little painting on a slide. So obviously, when you project it, put that in the projector, you can blow it up as big as you want on the projection screen. But years and years ago, this used to be the only way that a gallery would ever even consider looking at your work. So I must have hundreds of these. They used to come in kind of sets. These are by Kodachrome, but there's lots of other companies that do them. And we used to have to be really careful how to take these, because obviously you only got like 36 on a reel. And not like now when you can snap away however many times you want and bingo, it's there straight away. You know, you used to take the photo. I think I had a tripod back then, set it all up with best lighting as you could, send off your film, and it used to take about 3 weeks to come back, and it used to come back in these little kind of containers like this. Whatever you do, you mustn't get any fingerprints on them. Otherwise, obviously the acid in your fingerprints will actually damage the celluloid. I guess you could say it's like a still version of an old-fashioned movie reel, but in stills. So yeah, so slides, that was how we used to do it years ago. I really should get a slide projector to have a look at those. They're kind of fun, and I used to send off loads of those. Never got them back. It used to cost me a bloody fortune, but they were kind of fun. It was the only way you could do it. So if you were a gallery owner or worked in the gallery back in the 1990s, you might have well been bombarded by one of these and some slides, which is the way that we used to do things back in the old days, they say. But it was the only way you could make contact with people. Just thumbing through the phone directory and yellow pages of different areas, finding places to send stuff off to. Anyway, it says a little glimpse back into the dim past of the 1990s and how I used to go about trying to promote my work, because then the internet come along and become available to everybody, and the whole world changed overnight, and we've kind of never gone back, have we really? If that's good or bad, I'm not really too sure. Anyway, there we go. So just a little insight there, how I used to promote my work back into in the 90s. I hope you found it kind of interesting, and you can just pause the frames and I'll put the stills up to have a close look at those yourself. So thanks a lot for your time. As always, feel free to comment anything you've seen. If you've been to Italy, San Gimignano, or if you've been to Venice, particularly Venice, I'd be interested to know what you thought about Venice, because it's changed a lot over the years. And it's one of those places that has become so incredibly commercialised. Has it tipped the balance? Don't know, I haven't been there for a few years now. But if you've been there or any of those other places in Italy, please let me know your thoughts on those. So thanks for your time, and I shall see you very soon. And if you can subscribe, if I can even say the word, subscribe, that would be really appreciated. So thanks a lot for your time, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.